Are you living in Mexico, but you want to watch TV from the United States? Well, I'm Brighton West, and I live part of the year in La Paz, Mexico, and part of the year in Portland, Oregon. And in this video, I'm going to show you how you can watch TV from your local US channels while you're down in Mexico. So, of course, there are Netflix and Amazon Prime and other services that let you watch shows. But if you really want to watch, say, the local news from your hometown in Seattle, maybe, or you're like my mom and you want to watch Wheel of Fortune every night at 7 p.m., or you just like watching whatever episode of Modern Family is on every evening. That's what I'm going to show you how to do in this video. Now, this is a two-part system, and each part has a little bit of monthly cost. But the first part of it is a Express VPN. It's something that lets you trick your computer into thinking that it's in a different location. And so I'll talk to you about that. This actually gives you some other benefits with those things I mentioned, like Netflix and Amazon Prime too. Talk about that. And then the second part is something called Locast. And this allows you to get your local television stations streamed over the internet so that you don't have to have a local antenna when you're home, or you can stream it with this trick anywhere you are in the world. And this is something that will work on your computer or your smartphone or your TV. And so in this video, I'm going to show you how to do it on your computer and also on your TV using an Amazon Fire Stick. And it's something that you have to set up on your computer first, and then you can transfer it over to your TV. So you never actually need to use it on your computer, but you need to set it up there anyway. And the timing for this video is great because I'm actually up in Portland, Oregon, where I have a TV. I don't have one in Mexico, but I do have a Mexican street dog here in Portland. This is Lila, and she's up for adoption. So let's get started on my computer. So the first thing you need to set up is ExpressVPN. I'm a fan of NordVPN. Also, it has a better deal for the first year or two. However, I've found that it doesn't work all that well for doing this specifically with local TV stations. And this is not something that will work in every single location. The smaller markets in the US won't be on Locast, the service that gives you local television. That's really only in the medium to larger size cities. And ExpressVPN, the thing that lets you trick your computer into thinking that it's in one of these cities, only works in about a half a dozen US cities. So the really major cities. So you're going to need to set up an account with ExpressVPN, and I think it starts around $10 a month or so. And then you're going to install something on your computer, a little application that you can download from ExpressVPN that lets you set your computer to think that it's somewhere else. And this is great, not only for tricking your computer into thinking it's in a new location, but this is going to add a lot of security for your computer anyway. If you're doing anything sensitive, if you're working from a coffee shop, if you're on kind of a more questionable internet connection, this using a VPN allows you to really have a secure connection and make sure that nobody is snooping at your data. So once you have an account and you have it set up, you can go down to run the ExpressVPN application on your computer. I'm on a Mac, but this works exactly the same on a PC. And you'll get this option here to connect. And with this, you can choose any location. So you can see here that they list off different countries that you can choose. Sometimes I've found that this is actually helpful when I'm back in the United States and I need to connect to my Mexican bank or mega cable or something that expects me to be in Mexico. I can actually set this up to say, trick my computer into thinking that it's in Mexico using this service. And then I'm able to access some websites that I couldn't otherwise from the United States. But really what we're talking about in this video is accessing the United States from Mexico. So what's great here, you can choose all these different countries, and there are a heck of a lot of them out there. And you can also go through and choose different locations. So the United States, here's a number of locations. There are a few more though, so you can try typing in like Chicago. So there is a USA Chicago. There's a number, like I said, let me see what the definite ones: Seattle, New York, DC, LA, Dallas. Here's another LA and San Francisco. Those are definitely covered. There might be a few others. I think Miami is another one, and I know that I've seen covered. So you're going to need to go in here and just type in the location. Portland, where I'm from, is not covered, sadly, but it's kind of, like I said, a medium-sized city, so it's not as likely to be covered by the VPN service. It is covered by the local TV service, but that doesn't really help if you can't trick your computer into thinking that it's part of that local TV area. So let's just choose Seattle because it's nearby. And one thing to note here is sometimes when you choose a location, you might go in and see that the location is not within the exact TV viewing area. And that's probably more of a problem around New York or, really the East Coast, where the stations have smaller areas because they're just all crammed together. So you might, when I was trying this out before, I found that the first thing in New York didn't actually give me New York TV stations. It actually gave me Philadelphia TV stations. So you might need to play with this to find one of those servers that's located exactly where you need it to be. But when I chose New Jersey, it gave me the New York television stations. So let's just choose something for the sake of this video, something easy like Seattle. So here it is, USA Seattle. So I choose this, double click, and it's connecting. So it's going out there and connecting my computer. My computer now thinks that it's in Seattle. So that was the first system I talked about. The second system is something called Locast. And you can see here that this is available in a lot more markets, but really you need to have both of these things working for you to be able to access a local television station from Mexico. So this here, although there is a Portland Locast, so I have this service when I'm up in Portland. This is how I get my local TV stations for just $5 a month. There is a free option with Locast, but it's really a bit annoying. So pay the $5 a month and you won't have the nag screens coming up always asking you to donate. But let's go over to Seattle so you can see here that Seattle's where I am going to want to connect to. And the last time I had this on, I hadn't connected up my VPN and it said that I'm in Portland. Let me refresh this, and I've already created an account, and you will need an account to do this. Let me refresh. And now it thinks I'm in Seattle. So this will work when you're anywhere in the world by using this VPN solution. It's going to now think that your computer's there. And with Locast, it will only allow you to view the stations or view the feed from the area that you're in. Although you can see all the different cities and you can go through and see New York and Atlanta and Charlotte and all these different places. You can see their programming schedule, but you can't actually push the watch now button. So let me just show you how this works, how Locast works on your computer. And then we're going to go over to doing it on an Amazon Fire Stick so you can do it on your TV. So pretty simple. We're going to click the Watch Now button. And you can see all the different channels that are on the air in Seattle. So they've got a lot of different channels that you can access if you had a really good antenna. That's what this is doing. Locast is everything that you can get from an antenna. This service essentially has a number of antennas around Seattle, and they take the signal and then they rebroadcast it over the internet. So this is exactly what you would see when you're watching your local TV, including all the commercials, including any kind of interruptions. And every once in a while, if there's really bad weather somewhere and that interrupts the feed going into the antenna, you might see a little bit of static on the line. So this is what I've found, is that it's always better than what my antenna that I use here. The service is always better than what my local antenna can get because they've invested a little bit in their antennas. So here we go. We've got the Waltons. You click on it, and then you can click on Watch. And it'll start playing here, and you can see that it's midstream. It's not like something like Netflix where the show starts whenever you push play. So this is just a stream of your local TV. And if you click on this here or hover your mouse over, you can see in the lower left-hand corner, you can make this full screen. So you can watch it full screen on your computer. And then you can just click the escape key to go back to the small screen. And then we can click the X to stop that feed. And just go through, and you can choose anything that's playing now, but it also gives you a couple hours out the schedule. So this is a great little TV guide. Okay, let me show you how to set this up over on your Amazon Fire Stick or Amazon TV. So we're on the home screen of the Amazon device, and we're going to go over to Find and then down to Search. And then we're going to install both of these apps. So let's start with Locast. And you can see it showing up here on the bottom. So we'll click on that and find it. It's got the white background. And you can see here, it will say something like download or get. I already have this because I've used it before. So I'm going to click to download it. And then actually, I'm going to go back and I'm going to install ExpressVPN. I'm going to go all the way back to home. And once again, over to Find, down, Search, down there. Once again, same thing for you. You might see something like get or download. Okay, now you're going to need to connect both of these to the accounts that you created online. So I'll open this. And then I'll click sign in. Sometimes it's hard to see exactly what is highlighted here. So actually the less dark green is highlighted. So we'll click sign in. And then you'll use your information that you set up when you set up your account. Okay, so I'm going to click in here to get the keyboard up. To the password spot. In the lower left corner, you can see that's where you change from lower to uppercase. And you could choose either okay or no thanks here. And then choose okay here. And then you can go through once again and choose the location. And you can do all locations. Actually, you can go to the upper right-hand corner to search to find whichever location you want. And you can see if you're looking in the background there, once you've gotten far enough and just can click next once you've typed enough in. Because you can see here that Seattle is selected, and then it will automatically connect, or you can press the circle button and it will say that we are connected. Now your TV thinks that it is in Seattle. Okay, so we'll go back to the home button, and now we're going to set up Locast. So we'll go over to Find and down to Search. This is just the easiest way to find it. Once you set this up, you can make these into favorites. I'll show you that at the end of the video. And this time, instead of asking you to install it, pops the app open. And it's going to ask you to go to locast.org/activate. And then you need to type what's on your TV screen into your computer while you're logged into Locast on your computer. I found that this is not case sensitive. Okay, it says it's activated, and then the TV should update. And you can now see the Seattle programs here. And if you ever have a question, if you scroll up to the top here, you can see what cities. And in the upper left-hand corner, it's going to say what city you are in, what city it's sensing at that point. And you can also see, if you're on the correct city, you can see the watch button is lit up there. So if I go to Outer Limits, you can see that there is a watch button. But if you go to another city, say you want to look at Atlanta, you have to scroll around a little bit to get to the other cities. It's going to show you a program guide that you can scroll through. However, there is never a watch button unless it's the city that it thinks you're in. So we'll head back to the cities and get to the one that's in the upper left with the symbol that this is the current location. And you'll be able to, let's just watch Kelly Clarkston show. There we go. And I can go use the back button to go back to the guide and scroll through and choose which one I want to watch. Now, I told you I was going to show you how to set these up as favorites too. So let me see if I remember how to do that. Hit the home button. And then let's scroll over here to this kind of the additional stuff. Please select to view all your apps and channels. And now you can choose what's in your favorites menu. We're going to highlight the Express VPN and then hit these 3 lines and then move it up. There we go. And now same thing. I'm going to go to Locast. I'm going to hit the 3 lines. I'm going to click the middle for move and move it up. And once you have it in the proper location, just hit the middle. And then you can go back to your home. And now you can see here that ExpressVPN and Locast are really easy to access here from kind of the main menu. So if you've watched my videos before, you know that I like to end my videos with some kind of little lesson about life in Mexico, and it might be the Spanish language or just life in general. This is something that I learned today during my Spanish lesson. And normally words that end in A are feminine. However, some words like moto or photo are feminine too, because they're the shortened form of motocicleta or fotografía, which end in A. I'll see you in the next video.